Today we're working on a 2012 Ford Explorer, the 3.5 liter. We're going to be changing the spark plugs on this vehicle. To get started, we have to remove the engine cover. Over here on the right, this pops up, and then over here on the left in the back as well, this pops up. And then the back can come off, and then I'll show you what to do with the front. So now that the back is free to move, the front you could just slide up and over, and it just comes right off like that. And now the whole piece can be removed. Once that cover is removed, you have clear access to 3 of the 6 spark plugs. The retaining bolt for the coils are an 8mm, and then to get the clips off, there's this red tab you want to push open. I'll show you on this one. That one's already open, but you just can push up on it, and then do that with the other one. Push up, and then now you can push down on this tab and then wiggle it off. This one's off here, and you do that for all of them. Pull these 8mm bolts out, and then these coils just separate from the plug. You might need to, this one came out easy. You might need to wiggle it, turn it, but it should pop out. Just don't give up. Once those are out, you have access to each spark plug. It's a 5/8, and if this is the first time being replaced from the factory, then you might need to give it a little muscle to break it. This is the new spark plugs, Motorcraft. This is the part number. You can see it, SP520, for those who are interested. They do not require anti-seize according to Ford. They do recommend, when you put the coils back on, to put a little dielectric grease on the tip here before insertion. Other than that, they go in 133 inch-pounds. Now, putting them spark plugs in, I never use power tools. Everything is hand threaded in. Also a note that the plugs do not have crush washers, so just keep that in mind as well. You can put the bolts back down, plugs go back on, you can hear them click, and then the red tabs get pushed back down. That's the front, that's the easiest one. Now we're gonna go to the back, and to do the back, the upper intake manifold has to come off. First, we'll want to remove these connectors. There's one here, and that's the same tab style, pull back and then pinch. And then this is just a pull down and pull out. So there's 2 connectors there. There's this hose here we want to remove, and then there's this line here we want to remove. So to get this one off, it has these 2 tabs here. You push them in like that. So you pinch them together and push them in, and then this green piece comes out like that, and then it just slides off. So when you put it back on, it's just slide it in and then push this in like that, and it locks into place. Okay, those are all off and disconnected. I forgot to mention there's a hose back here. It's kind of the same as this one here, just a clamp, pull it back, it comes off pretty easy. So once those are off, we have to take the air box and inlet duct out to get to a support bolt back here. That's pretty easy. We'll just screwdriver here, flathead, pull that clamp off. This comes off here, and then this quick disconnect. You have this gray, push it, and it should come right off like that. You have this, and then the air box should come out. There's a couple clips here that hold it, and then this whole air box will just come right out. With that off, you can see, let me see, let me point to it, but there's this bolt right there. It's an 8mm. That's the support bracket for the intake manifold, so that has to come off. If you get a long extension, Let's see, this is a 12-inch extension, maybe a 10-inch. But either way, 8mm, you can get back in there and pull it off. So that has to be done. After that, the intake manifold bolts can come out. Those two are 8mm. There's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that all comes out, and then the manifold is ready to pop off. This is with the intake manifold off. This was the first time this ever came off, so it was pretty stuck to the surface. What I found to be helpful is to grab it from the back and kind of give it a pull, and then you could hear that gasket separate. But now that it's off, I'm just gonna wipe the surface and then plug these holes with some rags so we don't accidentally drop anything down there. That would make me cry. And then you can see we have perfect access to the back coils, so we can get those plugs out. Now the new ones go back in, same procedure. They don't need anti-seize. Hand thread them in. That's it, ready to put the intake manifold back on. You can inspect your manifold gasket. If it looks like it should be replaced, or you just want to replace it anyway, now would be an excellent time to do that. Before I tighten these down, I want to get the retaining bracket bolt just in. That'll give me wiggle room on this while I'm trying to get it threaded. So I don't want my bolt to drop while I'm trying to snake it through. So if you get just a piece of cloth, towel, or whatever, this is just one of my paper towels, you can put the bolt head in it like that, and that'll prevent it from falling while you're pushing this in that tight area. The tightening sequence on these is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and those are 89 inch-pounds. Okay, now that those are tight, we can go ahead and tighten up that retaining bolt. That also is 79 inch-pounds. Now that all those are plugged in, that's pushed in, the green pieces together. Don't forget your hose clamps. Those are easy to forget sometimes. Let's see, this right here goes in its little spot. Hose is back on. So that buttons up that. Next thing is our air box and inlet pipe. Now that everything's plugged in, that just snaps on, so just push it in and it snaps. Don't forget your hose up here. You have your mass airflow here, and that has a red tab underneath. I didn't mention that at the beginning, but if you've gotten this far, you know it by now. That's it. Next thing you do is start it up, make sure it runs smooth, and then put the cover back on, and you're finished. Well, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.